Hello and welcome back. I hope you're all doing fine out there in video land. This session I'm doing on one of my biggest influences and someone I admire immensely, I think as a human being and as a musician, and that's David Gilmour. And what I learnt from David Gilmour, and I started listening to David Gilmour when I was about 14 I think was when I found Pink Floyd, and immediately was hooked by David Gilmour's style of playing. So I wanted to talk about that and maybe just demonstrate a little bit, and I by no means am anywhere near the guitarist that David Gilmour is, because I think he's up there with the greatest. In my opinion, he's one of the greatest guitarists that's ever lived. His expression and his phrasing is incredible. But what I find and what this video is about is the ability David Gilmour has to leave space so perfectly that every note he plays stands out. It just stands out above. If I think of all the other players, the Stevie Rays, the Jimi Hendrixes, incredible players, but David Gilmour has this approach to his solos where it's not what he plays. A lot of the time it's what he doesn't play and the space he leaves. And that gives every note he plays so much more emphasis. And what I learned from David Gilmour, I think Shine On You Crazy Diamond showcases the intro to that song and all the way through that song, parts 1, 2, 3, 4, and God knows how many there are. But it is that ability to, when I demonstrate it, I'm using that top E string open, which I do in a lot of my playing, and you would have seen in so many of my videos. I try and teach this, and that is phrasing and leaving space, and that's what Mr. Gilmour taught me, and that was that just waiting to play the note and not rushing back to reinforce it. Killing it. And that is to me that is such a great thing to practice, because there's a rush and an angst when we play, and this happens a lot when you play live, is anxiety and excitement quite often is hard to control in your playing, and in a live scenario completely different to sitting in the bedroom or rehearsal studio. There's all of that anxiety wants to get out and your excitement, and to learn to control that, to me, is a shining example of what Dave Gilmour is as an artist, is the control to just express at the perfect time is something we all should try and reach. That's the pinnacle of playing the guitar, is when it needs to be said, say it. But if it doesn't, just hold off. Wait for the perfect time to express what you've got to say on the guitar, and that is what David Gilmour does best. All his playing, this is the crazy thing with David Gilmour. It's blues pentatonic or the minor pentatonic scale, with a few exceptions to the rule, but I hear the pentatonic blues scale, in your Jimi Hendrixes and your Stevie Rays and your Claptons, and I go, yeah, pentatonic blues, no problem. But when I hear David Gilmour, I expect him to be playing some Mozart chord charts, but his stuff is so simple, but he makes it sound so intricate. And I'll say this, I've never heard another guitarist come close to how Dave Gilmour plays, and I've never seen, and this is not only a testament to Dave Gilmour but to Pink Floyd, is no one comes close to being or playing like that band did. Like no one. There's not even cover bands try and emulate it, but no one's writing, and to this day is not writing like Pink Floyd, and they're certainly not creating music like Dave Gilmour on the guitar. So in this very short session, my advice to anyone out there watching this is practice playing around. Find your, I use E because it's just got my root note there that's top of the guitar, top string, easy to find, and try and allow that note to ring out. Turn your reverb up, a little bit of delay if you've got it, but don't get carried away with delay because it can get messy. But just allow that string to ring out. And when you want to automatically react, just hold back a bit. Just hold back, and then a simple note. One note, two notes, but if I've got that string ringing out, I love the 12th fret up here, 12th and 14th fret for... And when I do that bend, here's another little learning curve. On that 14th fret bend on the G up, try not to kill the E string that's ringing out. I mean, that's an art in itself. A little bit of Mark Knopfler Dire Straits there as well. But let the string ring out. Don't rush into your next note. And another thing too is, don't get caught up in thinking about, in that beautiful space you've got there with that E string just ringing out, don't think too much. Don't think, oh, I'm going to play that, don't play a flurry of notes. Don't. Now that's great, but you can do that in the Stevie Ray Vaughan stuff or Blues Pentatonic, but here you're trying to be Dave. Be Dave. Be you being Dave. So you can bend down. Then just, make that E string stand out. It's really the character, and you're building flavour around it. Beautiful area up the 12th, 14th, because you've got that, so Dave Gilmour, so Shine On You Crazy Diamond. If you're going like, there's a good example is that you can play 5 or 6 notes, 4 or 5 notes, but always come back to stop it and allow this, everything to resolve back into that. So in the session, relax, allow your playing to come through, and allow the speak when you need to speak, but create silence with that ambient backdrop of E ringing out, and try and train yourself. And the practice is, you might have a sudden urge to want to play something. Just hold that back a bit and really allow phrasing and the music to talk through you. That's what David Gilmour does. That's why he's the world's greatest guitarist, in my opinion. One of. I've got too many. And that is why Pink Floyd's music is timeless, because not only is Dave Gilmour doing that on the guitar, but you have the structure of a band that I don't think Dave Gilmour would be the player he is today if it were not for people like Richard Wright, who allowed and gave Pink Floyd held ambience around David Gilmour. So I could go on all day about the band and about Dave Gilmour, but if you're young and you don't know much about Pink Floyd or Dave Gilmour as a guitarist, I would implore you, check him out and learn from that man, because he's one of the greatest tutors I've ever had and one of the greatest influences and inspirations I've ever had as a guitarist. That's all. Short session. I hope you got something out of that. I will see you next time. Take care, subscribe, and if you want private tuition, one-on-one internet tuition, book a session now. I'm filling places up. I only take 10 students a year, or I rotate 10 students a year, but I don't overbook because I want to work individually with each person. Book a session if you want. I'll see you next time. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. Keep playing. It's very good for you. Stay healthy. Bye-bye.